Hi, welcome to Toro Gaming. I'm your host, Andrew Lutz, and today we're going to go on a deep dive into the world and history of esports. Starting in the 1970s, esports, or organized competitive gaming, has taken over streaming platforms such as YouTube and Twitch. Several high-profile teams and players have battled it out on the world stage, sometimes even for $1 million.
Wow.
Alex Rodriguez, Shaq, and Magic Johnson would all be invested in the space. 2017 continues to bring in the big names, with FC Copenhagen, the Miami Heat, and co-owner of the Milwaukee Bucks all getting involved early this year. But exactly how big is this growth expected to be? What will esports look like in 2020? Well, looking at esports revenue growth numbers provided by Newzoo, a market intelligence company specializing in the esports industry, it's projected that by 2020, the esports revenue is expected to reach almost $1.5 billion, almost double what it will be in 2017. That number pales in comparison to that of the NFL, MLB, or NBA. But none of those industries are expected to double their revenue in the next 3 years. With the majority of the esports audience between the ages of 18 to 34, and the projections that point towards continual growth in all aspects of the industry, the future only looks bright from.
Awesome. And today I get to sit down with our resident esports fanatic, Gamer Citizen.
Thanks for having me, man.
Of course, how you doing?
I'm good. What games have you been playing recently?
Oh, of course, you already know. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Oh, for sure.
Always.
Yeah.
But yeah, glad to have you here.
Thanks, man.
And I guess the first question I want to get into is, with a background in esports and being involved in the scene, what does esports mean to you?
Honestly, esports is kind of specifically the focus on the competitive aspect to video gameplay. When you have the casual gamer like you and I that just play for fun, but then you have people who want to play these things professionally and for a living and make millions or make hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in these video games. That's really what it's all about when I think of esports.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So esports, obviously, electronic sports. It's not like your traditional sports with balls or whatever.
No, really.
But yeah, it's just the electronic side of gaming. But I guess thinking about esports, it is fairly new. But where is it going? Is it growing? What's going on?
Absolutely. I mean, when you look at the vast variety of different video games that are out there right now. You have the real world sports simulators such as FIFA or the NBA 2K series, or you have the first person shooters in Call of Duty or Rainbow Six Siege.
Okay.
And then you finally have like the kind of playful side of games in MOBAs, which are massive online battle arenas that have a variety of different play styles, from League of Legends to Dota 2 or even Overwatch, which is kind of like a mixed hybrid of MOBA and first-person shooter.
Okay, and getting into that, I think some people don't realize how big esports is. Of course, we had the Fortnite World Cup, one of the most popular games right now. I think it was the Andrew Stadium in New York. It's meant for tennis, right?
It's meant for tennis.
And they literally just packed the stadium full of.
I think I heard the arena, like the tickets for all 3 days sold out in like under 5 hours.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Booga, he's a 16-year-old. He got first place, and he didn't win one, he didn't win two, but he won $3 million. He
won $3 million of a $30 million prize pool for the entire competition. Just one player won a tenth of the money as a 16-year-old. Like, I would love to have $3 million as a 16-year-old. Wow. I can't imagine what he's going to be doing with that money.
Just imagine if his mom told him to stop playing video games.
Exactly. That would be crazy.
Oh yeah, but I just think with the scene, wherever eyes are, wherever money is, that's where it's going to go.
Very much.
Whether it's sports, esports, whatever. But I guess as you went over some of the games, I told you personally I love playing Super Smash Bros. What do you like to play competitively?
Competitively, I kind of like to focus on the first-person shooters.
Okay.
Like Call of Duty.
Okay, gotcha.
But also I do have a few friends that play Overwatch as well,
Sure.
and so we can sometimes get on and play whatever the meta is
Gotcha.
as the publishers change the game. Like
Gotcha.
recently, they made it where it was what's called a role lock, where you
Okay.
had to play one of 3 roles,
Okay.
and you could only play that role. You
Wow.
couldn't like change mid-game to a different role.
Sure.
So
Yeah, no, it's definitely the team aspect in some of these games, just like, football, soccer, whatever. It's
heavily emphasized,
yeah,
and just like the real world sports.
definitely for
Yeah.
sure. So when did you first get involved in esports? I know you play, but do you also do you organize tournaments or do you help out at tournaments? What do you
I
do?
definitely love helping at tournaments just because like it gets the word out there
Okay.
that there are those events that happen, and when I first got involved was just hearing about the esports team, the Dallas Fuel, owned by an esport organization company called Team Envy, which
Okay.
can sometimes confuse people where you have a variety of different esport organizations that have team in their name, but
Yeah.
their name is Team Envy,
Okay.
and they have a variety of different teams in the various video games that they have players and people signed to
Sure.
compete in those games.
Okay, and just to clarify, like Team Envy, that's like an organization, right?
That's an organization.
Okay,
yeah.
and then under that organization, there's a bunch of teams like Team Envy, but they do different games. They sponsor different players. Like, how does that work as
yeah,
well?
and so like I said, one of the games that they have teams in is Overwatch.
Sure,
and
Overwatch, yeah.
And the team that they own is the Dallas Fuel.
Okay.
And on the Dallas Fuel, they have this outstanding tank player, which, for those that don't know, a tank player is a big character that has a lot of health and and can deal out a hefty amount of damage as well. And so one of their biggest tank players is a personality, a guy named Mickey,
Okay.
who was a huge player before the inaugural Overwatch League was founded, and has continued to be a solid core member of the Dallas Fuel team.
Okay.
And then they have a variety of other players, such as a guy that I believe you know dear and well to your heart, Wizrope, who
Oh, good
plays
old Wiz-
Smash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then they recently bought the franchise Call of Duty team for the Dallas area, which
Okay.
from certain sources I've heard should be announced sometime this week.
Wow.
So yeah.
So they have different teams, different players for teams. They have sounds like a franchise, just like the Dallas Cowboys
Just
or
like the Dallas Cowboys
exactly.
or Dallas Mavericks or even the Dallas Stars for
Yeah.
that matter. So
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
It's awesome. And there's kind of a joke because I'm kind of involved in the Smash Bros community.
for sure.
But that Wizrobe, he's a very top player, but no one wanted to sign him. No one wanted to pick him up. But so I just had a quick question. For viewers, I think this might be beneficial to them. How can we get involved at home?
So there are a couple ways between just playing with friends and viewing online
Sure.
through the various streaming platforms like YouTube or predominantly Twitch. But there's also these places called LAN centers, which are places that accommodate gaming for all ages, young and old, on a variety of different platforms, whether you be a mouse and keyboard style player on the PCs, or you be an Xbox or PlayStation player. You can play just about any game across any platform. And there's actually a really cool facility called the Esports Stadium in Arlington, which has both a LAN center and a stadium that players can compete in, and actually have a clip to show from a CBS production.
Okay. We can roll that for sure.
Yeah.
Unveiled the stage Monday, where gamers will drive, fight, and shoot their way to the top of the leaderboard in competitive gaming. This $10 million facility can hold up to 2,500 fans, the largest dedicated esports facility of its kind on the continent.
There will be a 10-year-old in an audience that will come to this building, and he will be one of the future stars of esports, I guarantee it. And that's really exciting.
Just like a traditional stadium, there are locker rooms where teams can practice and plan. There's a player lounge for pros to relax during events. It's designed to attract the 10 to 15 competitions happening every weekend around the world now, usually in makeshift venues. But it's not just for competition.
We can actually do quite a bit more and expand that esports ecosystem rather than just tailoring to an event center.
The Gamer Gallery will be open daily to the public, a place for players to practice, train, and join others for smaller organized games. This all opens as Texas ranks only behind California now for video game development. And the competitive arm of esports could top $1.5 billion in revenue as soon as 2020.
Just walking in, the first second was very reminiscent of seeing like the top stages in the world. Like I thought I was at one of these main stage events already.
And the first competition up here on the main stage, this happens Saturday and Sunday. That Gamer Gallery we were just in a minute ago, that opens to the public Monday. Live in Arlington tonight, Jason Allen, CBS 11 News.
Wow, that seems like an amazing facility and organization. Now, I've personally never been to the esports stadium in Arlington, but you have, right?
I have, yeah,
Okay.
and it's an incredible facility where, like, not only outside of events, they also host little tournaments as
Okay.
well. Like, for example, tonight they're hosting a Rainbow Six tournament.
Okay.
Yeah, so
Wow.
it's incredible what they've accomplished in the organization that they've been doing for the esports scene.
Yeah, and I've heard that was the biggest one in the U.S., biggest esports stadium in the U.S., but I think it just got beat out by somewhere up north. I think Philadelphia maybe.
I think so.
But
something like that, yeah.
but yeah, it's awesome that you've worked events and you've
Yeah,
done stuff
it's
like
been
that.
really fun.
Awesome. And now speaking of in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you know, Arlington has a big one, but I know Dallas, I want to say.
Yeah, and actually when we were talking about the franchise sports like the Dallas Cowboys or even the Dallas Mavericks,
Sure.
Dallas Mavericks actually have a esport team
Oh.
for the NBA 2K series, and
Okay.
they actually have a much smaller LAN center, but still a pretty cool center that they hope to do some incredible things there. And I have a video from the director of their community engagement from them.
Yeah, of course. We
Yeah.
definitely check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
One of the things that we're trying to do with this facility is we want to really push past the community aspect and really try to host events around charity. We want to host events around esports. We want to get everybody involved on the Dallas level. And so we want to make Dallas a central hub for esports, but also around gaming, because gaming doesn't have to just be about professional video games. You don't have to be the best to come in and have a good time. We all like to have fun, and that's really what we want to do with this space.
Wow, and featured in that video was Dimes. He's,
Yeah.
I think, their point guard, I want to say.
Yeah, their point guard
Okay.
and one of their 5 players that I heard you were able to take a picture with the other 4.
Yes, Mo, Peter, great guys.
Yeah.
I got to take a picture with them at a Mavs game.
Yeah.
But it was just crazy to see that I'm sure they got free Mavs tickets, you know.
For sure, for life,
and they gotta
basically, as long
check
as
it
they
out.
play.
Exactly right.
Plays.
Yeah, so it's cool to see them, and it's cool to see that they actually got drafted. So it wasn't like
Yeah.
online and email. They actually had a draft, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was able to go to the facility for the draft watch party that the Dallas Mavericks Gaming Center hosted.
Okay.
So it was pretty cool, incredible experience, and I can't wait till for future drafts to be had.
Yeah, no, it's cool, and not only the Dallas Mavericks, but there's also other teams, the 76ers, right? The
76ers, the Miami Heat,
okay.
I believe there's also a team for the Golden State Warriors as well.
Yeah, so they play in a league that's, I think, it's partnered up with the NBA teams as well as Take-Two
Yeah,
Interactive, I want to
Take-Two,
say.
yeah.
They have like a league where they play.
Yeah.
That's why the Dallas Mavs, they're nothing to mess around with. They're pretty
Absolutely
good.
not, yeah.
And as well as that, there's also Madden tournaments. Now, I don't think the Dallas Cowboys have a Madden team.
Not that I'm
Okay.
aware of,
Okay.
but I wouldn't be surprised if Jerry Jones has his eye, considering that he also has an ownership stake in another esport team.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the next few years.
Absolutely.
And that leads into esports. It's just a rapidly growing world filled with exhilarating highs and truly crushing lows, as we know.
Absolutely, yeah.
And if one thing's for certain, Dallas-Fort Worth will definitely be playing games for a long time.
Oh, absolutely, and I can't wait for the future of it.
Of course. Well, I've been your host, Andrew Lutz, a.k.a. the Asian Beast.
And I have been the accommodating esport fanatic, Andrew Fiorello, aka Gamer Citizen.
Awesome. We'll definitely see you guys next time. Thank you.